Page 18, Hark, the Herald Angels Sing. 4/4 time. We got one sharp in the key signature. We are in the key of G major. It's probably time you be doing the scales. I hope you're doing them already, but make sure you can do the G major scale at least one octave up and down. I have a video on it. Go watch that. It explains it all. Let's cover this one hand at a time because we're moving around here. Things are getting tricky. Right hand at the beginning, you're here, thumb, and here, third finger. So you're in this position. Don't forget the F sharp, it's in the key signature. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You got the dotted rhythm. Let's look at it again. You got two quarter notes is 1 and 2. That's fine. Then 3, the dotted quarter note, the quarter note itself comes on beat 3. The dot comes on beat 4, and the 8th note comes on the end of 4. 3 and 4 and. That's all. 3 and 4. And then it's a 5 and a 3. It's very common in piano, and I encourage you to get good at this, is when you're playing repeated notes, a lot of times we will use different fingers on those repeated notes. This is an example of that. You have a 5 and then a 3. Highly recommend it. You can get to where you don't even have to look at the keyboard to see. You can feel that. It takes a little time, but you'll get there. But very good fingering. I encourage you to use that. Going on, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and got that dotted rhythm again. And at the end of the line, see measure 5, you got that D again here. Just lift up and move down is fine because it's the end of a phrase. We're going to move them. There's other fingerings we could use, so we don't have to do that. But let's stick with this. This is good. 3 and 4. And then you got 5 and 3 again. 3 and 4. And then cross over. This is measure 8 or measure 7 and 8. You're in here and you're going to cross over from the G to the here. That's standard fingering, that's good. You ought to be able to do this anyway. If you relax, the thumb will come under. You don't have to do anything fancy. You don't have to turn around or do anything. Just relax and the thumb comes up. Oh, you can do it. Then going on. You're ending measure 8 here. And measure 9, you're an octave higher. You just reach up to the octave. And then once you're there, you can collapse. Again. Measure 13, you can reach up one key in E. You change positions again. 1 and 2 and 3. The thumb comes down. You clap. So we keep moving around here, and this is good exercise. You want to get to where you can do it without looking at the keyboard eventually. You have to look at first, but you want to be able to feel up and down one key wherever you're going eventually. Left hand. Well, left hand's, we got G and a B to start with. We're in this position. So here, and then A and a C, and then here. This pattern, we need to get eventually. It's hard to do, I know it. I struggled with it, I still struggle with it. I use weight to push the notes down, and the wrist goes down with the notes, and then I raise the wrist. And as I lower the wrist, I lower the weight, and I simply switch the fingers. So it's the weight pushing it down, not the fingers. You should do it in both hands. Something to work on. It's really important that you be able to do that. We want this here and connected. So 5/7 chord to 1 chord. I hope. Then measure 5, same thing, sort of. Now C sharp, second finger. Then reach during the rest. You can move down here. I recommend you just reach down and feel that third finger on the F sharp. Just changed hand positions. And then for measure 9 during the rest, you come back up. G position. So forth. Measure 13, it's a 4 chord here. It's a G, a C, and an E. Next measure is an A. Same position. And then 5, 7, 1, blah, blah, blah. Put the hands together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at that carefully here. This measure 7. You're up here. 1 and 2 and 3. The left hand comes up on 3, and as it does, it comes down here. And this is 4 and. So those play together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And going on. I don't want to play it all for you. You figure it out. You just play through it very carefully and then go back and get rid of the hesitations. You can play it slow, but no hesitations. Then we can add in the slurring. Some people will have a break between the second and third measure. Angels Sing. I'll leave that to you. That's if you do this edition, this arrangement shows it all connected. Then you lift up, like taking a breath. Just lift up between. Now, there's different arrangements are different. Of course, that makes sense, I guess. But look at measure 13. They're slurring this whole line together. If you read the words, there's a comma at the end of the second measure there. So you can, if you want, lift up there. Lift up if you want, or connect it. That's what they're saying, connect it. Same thing in the last line. If you want to lift up between the second and third measures, some editions do, some arrangements. And this one doesn't, it just connects it. I'll leave that up to you and your teacher, whether you lift up there or not. A lot of times, you know, you can follow the sentences and the clauses. Look for commas and semicolons and periods and so forth, and you can lift up between them sometimes. It's a guide to go by. That's just for the right hand. The left hand, play it as connected as you can except for the rest. You can't connect it when you got chords, but do the best you can. Now, dynamics, well, this is a loud, majestic, proud piece because you're here, you're announcing it. And the whole thing is pretty much on the loud side. You don't have to stay loud constantly. Get to know it, you'll feel it. For instance, at the end of the phrase, come down a little bit. Like at the end of the line there on page 18, you're up here. You can come down a bit and then start loud again. It's like each phrase you're starting again, at the end of the phrase you're coming off. That's a way of interpreting things if you want. On measure 9 on that line, those 4 measures, if you're going to split those into 2 phrases, and that second measure there, you'd come down. Come down. And then start again. Come down, up, loud again. So each time, each phrase starts, you're starting loud, and at the end of the phrase, you come down. It's just a way of shaping phrases. It's a way of interpreting the music. There's different ways there's no right and wrong here. It's how do you feel it. Get into the music, and it's how you feel the music. Speed-wise, well, it's not real fast. It's on the fast side of the middle. You know, Allegro moderato is moderately fast. It's I think more of a majestic type thing. So forth. Some people will put in a ritardato at the end. There's nothing written here, but it's part of interpreting the music. So forth, it's part of interpretation. You'll decide. I play it different every time I play it, which is, I think, part of the fun of it. Let's play it together very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms and make sure we got everything correct there. I'm not going to do any dynamics. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just try it together. 1, 2, ready, go. 3 and 4 and. 3, 4. 4 and. 4 and. 4 and. 4 off. There's a duet for this also. I'd like to play that and you play what you just played, but we're going to speed it up a bit. I need you to go up an octave on the keyboard. So just pretend middle C is an octave higher, and instead of here, you're up here. So forth. I'll give us 4 counts. Let's try it together. Now keep in mind the duet's all different than yours, so pay attention to what you're doing, but listen to me so you can stay with me. Now I altered this duet. I changed this duet arrangement just a little bit so we can stay together, because sometimes I have rests and you're by yourself. Well, I'll go ahead and try and play something in there to keep the beat. And sometimes on half notes I might play a beat in there just to keep the beat. That's to help us stay together. 1, 2, ready, go.